But to be honest, the people that do that fake health conditions, you are a fucked individual. I can't lie to you. Because you're the reason why the people that actually do need it aren't getting the help they need, aren't getting the funding they need, bro. That's fucked up.
I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack.
Labour's plans to fix higher education explained. Video by TLDR News. Can't lie to you, bruv. I watched this video a little bit, and I'm not gonna lie, I heard a bunch of nothing. Let's get into the video, and I'll let you guys see what I'm talking about as we go along.
Last week, the UK's Labour government published its post-16 Education and Skills White Paper, setting out its plans to reform higher education, including improving young people's skills, vocational opportunities, and encouraging universities to specialise more.
Right, okay. Improving the skills of young people. Now, this is a whole question I was trying to figure out. I was like, skills. When you say improving skills, what skills are you talking about? Are we talking about fucking soft skills? Like communication that help you get into interviews and shit? Which is useless, by the way, to a degree. Or are we talking about hard-nosed skills, the skills that actually get you more higher paying jobs?
This builds on a pledge from Prime Minister Keir Starmer in his conference speech last month, scrapping a Blair-era target for 50% of all children to go to university, and replacing it with a commitment that, by age 25, 2/3 of young people will either go to university or take a gold standard apprenticeship.
Now, one thing I want to show you guys is a crazy stat. People aged 18 to 20 years old were enrolled in higher education degree level or equivalent, so 32%. Only 32%, right? Which is mad, actually. I thought it was more interesting. Now, it's a humongous target they're trying to reach, but I don't know how that's going to help having more people with university degrees. Because as we know, in the job market, companies don't care about degrees anymore. Unless you're going to become a doctor, a lawyer, scientist, mathematician, economist, fucking what else? Nurse, etc. The essential jobs that always will need a qualification in order to prove that you can actually do the job, that need the actual higher level of technicality. Yes, those ones need degrees, but majority of jobs in the UK do not need a university degree. So if that's the case, then 2/3 of people getting a university degree just means 2/3 of the population is going to have debt, which they didn't work, they didn't go into this university or into this area of study thinking of what they're going to do afterwards, thinking of the consequences they're going to have after they've done this degree. More people know that it's a waste of time to go into university because most jobs do not care about university degrees. So unless they're going to try and flip the whole thing to where it's like, oh yeah, now 2/3 of every job, they need a degree now. Which that's dependent on the job that you're talking about. And as we know, most jobs do not need a degree. They need skills, they do not need a degree though.
So in this video, we'll explain the UK's higher education crisis, the government's new reforms, and whether they'll work.
Okay. Labour's plans to fix higher education.
If you want more UK political drama from us, then
blah blah blah.
Let's start by explaining why we're on the TLDR Podcast YouTube channel or in your favourite podcast app. So let's start by explaining why the UK's higher education system is apparently in need of fixing. The big issue...
Apparently. Oh my god. It's been needed a reform, not to even quote that flipping party, but it's been needed a change in the education system since World War II ended, bro. Since then, bro. Okay? That's a long time ago. It's been needing change for a very long time. So anyway.
Is that a rising share of 16 to 24-year-olds are not in education, employment or training, a status known as NEET. This is both a symptom of the fact that young people are increasingly unsure about whether university is actually worth it, and the fact that many recent grads are struggling to find jobs. In the UK...
And that's very true. The majority of grads cannot find jobs. I spoke about this before. People who have higher qualifications than the job field that they get into, the reason why they get into that job that they're overqualified for, is because the job that they are qualified for aren't hiring, or they aren't paying enough for them to be like, okay, well, there's multiple factors, right? There's multiple reasons why, but they're not. But the main reason why is because they're not available, right? Getting replaced by AI, extreme competition, etc., etc., etc. Right. So in turn, from that happening, it makes it to where the graduates who are leaving university or finishing university, they actually have to wait 15 months on average before they actually get a job in the field that they're talking about. And I don't even know if that's in the desired field that they were looking for, but either way, it's 15 months on average. On average, my guy. So you wasted 4 months, 4 years of your life, 3 to 4 years of your life, just to wait 15 months extra anyway to get into a job where you're overqualified for anyway. It's crazy. Anyway.
UK, nearly 1 million 16 to 24-year-olds currently are NEET, equivalent to around 13% of the total
Far
age
too many.
bracket. According to a new Resolution Foundation
13%.
report, 60% of NEETs are economically inactive, i.e. neither in paid work nor looking for it, rather than unemployed.
Wait, so the 60% of the 13% are not looking for work. Interesting.
And among NEETs, 28% cite disability or poor health as being the reason.
Now, how many of that 28% can you prove that actually can't work? I don't know. I straight up just can't tell you. You know, because that means go over to every single one of these people and being like, are you actually unhealthy? Nah, you can fucking walk. Fucking get up, mate. Tap his knees, mate. Fucking knock his knees, mate. Can he fucking walk? He can fucking walk, mate. But we don't know. We don't know. Now, to be honest, the people that do that fake health conditions, you are a fucked individual. I can't lie to you. Because you're the reason why the people that actually do need it aren't getting the help they need, aren't getting the funding they need, bro. That's fucked up.
Now, this impacts the UK's economy and young people themselves. Delayed entry into the workplace affects young people's future life chances, well-being, and economic prospects. The white paper claims that NEETs will, on average, earn up to £50,000 less than their peers.
Right, which makes sense, because if they're not in work for like 2 years, then that's 2 years worth of fucking paychecks they didn't get, right? So duh. A survey conducted by the Association of Colleges last year also found poor mental health was the top reason for student absence, with 88% of colleges identifying it as a major factor. But he didn't outline that. There's a mental health aspect to it, to where, let's say, well, young people nowadays, they look around the world and they realize, this is a worldwide issue. Young people are kind of fucked, bro. Like, I can even break it down for you. Like let's say you were just a normal average working person. Like you just wanted to get into the job market, and you're at a point where you want to be able to move out of your own parents' house, right? You're gonna start off at a bare minimum, which is 24k or 27k, depending on what age you are. It's 27 or 24, right? Let's break that down by every month. Every month that's around £2,400 a month, give or take. So, and then let's say you want to live in London, which is where a majority of young people want to move. It's going to be quite expensive. You want to get a 1-bedroom house? Yeah, bruv. Cough up that £1,400, cuz. Yeah, so you're left with £1,000. Cool. Now let's say you don't even have a car. You don't even have a car. Yeah. You take public transport. Every month, it's going to run you around £100. Yeah, let's say you cook every single week. Let's say that's around £5 a day. Right? I think that's fair. I think that's a fair number. Right? If you're cooking every day, it's going to cost you about £5 every single day to cook food. So 5 times 30. So you're left with £750 now, right? Yeah, my maths is right. Okay. Let's say you don't even go out. So you're still left with £750. Okay. But now let's say, because we live in an economy where everybody's got a fucking phone, right? A phone. Now that let's say you want to go with EE as your broadband, as your network, as your mobile network, it's gonna run you around £15 to £20 every single month. So yeah, just scratch it off real quick. You know what I'm saying? That's gone. So you're left with about £730 still. Let's say you want to be healthy, so you get a gym membership. So you get to a bare minimum £30 for pure gym or even the gym group. Yeah, £30 a month. Cool. Cut that off. So you're left with around £700. And then let's say you want to have Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi is better than mobile data, right? It's gonna run you around £25 a month. Let's say that. So you're left with around £675. Okay. Now let's say this is for a person who doesn't go out. I forgot one very, very important detail. Bills. Let's say your bills altogether, water, gas, electric, altogether is around £200 a month, which is, I say that's fair. That's fair. £200 a month, yeah? Yeah, bro. Yeah, you're left with £300, yeah? Yeah, you're left with £300 now. £300 for everything else. So you also got to save that money. You got to invest that money. And let's say you want to be able to drive maybe someday. Let's say you're fucking paying for a lesson every single week. You're probably not going to be able to. Well, 4 weeks in a month, my nigga, £75 times about 4. God damn, that's £400. So you don't have enough. So the point is, you do not have wiggle room. You don't have wiggle room, bro. After breaking that all down, a young person looks at that and they're like, fucking hell, bruv. It's quite sad to be able to say, oh wait, I kind of can't live on my own. I kind of got to live with my mum and my parents for a while before I'm actually allowed to move out. That's peak, bro. And that's a mental factor, bro. 100%. Anyway, back to the video.
Well, falling labour participation among young people also means fewer taxpayers to support pensions, healthcare and public services. Crucially though, the NEET rate is also higher among non-graduates. While it stayed relatively stable at around 10% for 22 to 24-year-old graduates in the past 2 decades, for 22 to 24-year-olds with a GCSE level education or below, NEET rates are 3 times as high. Similarly, despite reports of a graduate jobs crisis in the UK, early career unemployment is actually rising faster among non-graduates. Financial Times research earlier this month found that in both the US and Western Europe, unemployment among new entrants to the labour market is rising slightly faster among people without a degree than with one.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I wonder why.
It is rising slightly faster.
That's an interesting one. I can't lie. So people who have a degree, they're more likely to be a part of this NEET group, whereas people who don't have a degree, they have higher NEET. They're a higher percentage of being in the NEET group. No, well, you can chalk that up to education, 100%. Not having enough knowledge, not learning enough about their options, and obviously having less options because they think they have less options. There's loads of reasons why. Fair enough, I know that.
Among people without a degree than with one. There's also a deepening financial crisis afflicting UK universities. Due to unsustainable operating models, particularly an over-reliance on high-paying international students, worsened by a drop in foreign student applications following visa changes in...
Well, there's more than one reason why. It's because a lot of uni students or a lot of educated people, you know, they're realizing, oh wait, we don't actually need university. You need experience, because every job asks for experience, not a university degree, so it makes sense.
January 2024.
Oh yeah, and because university's a scam. That's why. Yeah.
Many UK universities are now struggling financially, with more than 40% running budget deficits this year, and half set to in 2026.
Which that's an insane stat. They're in deficits 50%? 50%? Shit. Damn, bro. So a lot of universities might start closing down soon if we're not careful. Shit. That is scary, man.
As such, many have made staff redundant, cut courses, or even sold buildings to make sense.
I mean, I don't mind cutting the courses, because I think, hey, the courses that are literally useless should not have been running in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Ones that actually do not benefit your economy, they shouldn't be running in the first place, to be honest. So I don't really mind that. That's the biggest jump. Whoa, from spring 2024 to spring 2025, it went from 25% to around nearly 60%. Shit, or around 50%. That's insane.
Savings. So last week, the government published its post-16 Education and Skills White Paper,
Right.
outlining plans to improve young people's workplace skills, transform vocational education, and reform the university sector.
Okay, let's see what it's
To improve skills, in June, Labour established Skills England, a new board that's working to, quote, rebalance the labour market away from an over-reliance on international recruitment and towards improved training of domestic workers.
Okay. Now this it sounds great in theory. But what are you actually going to do to actually make this a reality? That's what I am concerned about right now. Because surely that's always been the case over here in the UK. Right? Instead of relying on the international students, you know, build up your fucking workers that live here. What the fuck? The people that are actually born here. Right? Let's see what he says.
By focusing on public-private partnerships and making the case for employer investment in skills. The reasoning here is that while immigration has successfully plugged gaps in the UK's labour market in recent years, it's also prevented investment into skills in Britain. As such, Labour plans to raise the immigration skills charge, a mandatory fee paid by employers.
See this, how does this help? So you want employers, like, it's your stupid business. Like, think about this, yeah? You want employers to spend more money training up their domestic workers, right? So they have more skills, they're more qualified, etc. But then you also want them to spend more money bringing in actual talent that have already been proven. You want them to spend more money bringing them in. How does that solve anything, my guy? That doesn't solve anything. My God. Because either way, they're going to have to spend more money. So which one would they rather do? Which one? I'll tell you which one I'd rather fucking do. I'd rather go get the person who's already been established in the flipping market, in the job area. I'd rather go get the person with more experience. Instead of having to spend money building this guy up. Just think, what if the guy that you're building up doesn't work out? There you go. Now you've got a whole investment that you just wasted money on. That doesn't solve the problem.
Is to sponsor certain foreign worker visas by 32% from December. The revenue generated from the ISC increase will then be used to support skills funding for UK workers, reducing reliance on immigration over the medium term. However, while this might sound like a good idea, there's a risk that employers will sidestep the costs by using alternative recruitment strategies, like short-term assignments or transfers, to continue hiring overseas workers. Furthermore, to prevent young people from becoming NEET...
Well, they don't have to sidestep it. They just go and hire them anyway. Because it's still going to be cheaper and they're still going to be more likely qualified at the end of it. That's a stupid mandate, bro. That's a stupid mandate. It doesn't work. That won't work.
Labour also plan to introduce several safety net measures, such as ensuring that people without a post-16 study plan...
You know, like, the thing is, yeah, I always like to give a solution to the problem, right? In my opinion, what we need to be doing to incentivize businesses to actually employ young workers is, first of all, equipping them with the skills so that young workers are ready, right? There you go. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to fucking do, right? You need to train up your young workers. You need more. I feel like you need more state jobs, bro. More state-owned jobs. So where young people can actually train inside of the country, so that when they are ready to go and try and go into private sectors, right, they already have the qualifications from the state, already proven by the state. Right? That makes more sense to me.
Automatically allocated a place at a local college or further education provider, and offering a guaranteed job to young people on universal credit who are unemployed for 18 months.
Now, this one is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Right? Why does it have to be 18 months, bro? Like, I want to give you an example. So people who class as young, it's usually 18 to 25-year-olds, right? So let's say, for example, somebody who was 25, goes onto universal credit for 18 months. Yeah. And then by the end of the 18 months, they're no longer 25. So what does that mean? They're no longer qualified for it? So that's just another person you just forgot about. Why is it 18 months? It should be shorter. It should be a month. What the fuck? Why is it 18 months? And how can they even guarantee a job to young people after 18 months, but not in a month? Like, what? If the job is there in 18 months, why don't you just give it to them in the first fucking week? That's why I'm believing they don't actually have these jobs. They're just lying to buy time, bro. Remember, that's 18 months from now, right? That's 18 months from now. That's a year and a half from now. So what? So there's going to be magically a whole bunch of jobs that are opening a year and a half from now? I doubt that, Labour. I fucking doubt that. Because if you have those jobs in a year and a half, why don't you have them now? But you only have them in a year and a half. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
With further details to be announced in the autumn budget. Next up are clearer and stronger vocational pathways. In the UK, 63% of learners choose from a range of technical, vocational or academic programs. But unlike A-levels...
And there's another problem with that. So even if that was true, let's say hypothetically that was true. A year and a half from now, you're going to get a guaranteed job. Yeah? Let's say you're on universal credit, you no longer have to... you don't have to look for a job anymore. That doesn't incentivize people to look for jobs anymore. Because, oh yeah, there's going to be a guaranteed job at the end of it. Right? So that's going to be a whole year and a half of work that people are not working now at all. Because they know they're going to get a guaranteed job at the end. So how's that going to help the economy in any shape or form? It don't make sense. I'm doing that old people thing. It don't make sense. I'm telling you, bro. Logically, none of it makes sense.
Technical qualifications are confused.
Like my bullshit radar is just going off right now. Real talk.
Landscape of different names and structures, which means that students on vocational paths are more likely to experience churn, i.e. switching qualifications or repeat learning, impacting their long-term outcomes. To simplify this, Labour plans to replace the current range of vocational technical qualifications with new V-levels, which sit alongside A-levels and T-levels.
It's just like... People with higher qualifications aren't already getting jobs. So what do you think adding another flipping V-level thing is going to help with anything? It's not going to help. It's just, you're just literally, there's A-levels and T-levels. There's 2 times you guys to try to do this. And they try and do it a third time. You think third time's to try? Third time's to try? Come on now, bro. Come on now, bro.
With students able to flexibly combine different qualifications. For instance, after GCSEs, a student could take a V-level in finance and accounting alongside A-levels in geography and environmental science, and then take up an apprenticeship in the renewables sector. The government is also introducing new technical excellence colleges, or TECs, which will work with employers, businesses, trade unions, and local governments to provide training and jobs, with each college linked to a specific sector.
Okay, wait. So let me understand this real quick. You're introducing technical excellence colleges. These will be further education colleges that have... Okay, so instead of going to university, you go to college again. Okay, cool.
On top of the 10 TECs already...
Oh, sorry, he was going to read that.
Labour are also establishing 4 TECs in advanced manufacturing, 5 in clean energy, 5 in digital tech, and 5 in defence, to be delivered from April 2026. Labour's final challenge is supporting struggling universities. This crisis has...
that's literally what it is. It's to support struggling universities. Okay. Why would people go to university to get the degree when they could just go to this TEC thing? It's like, why have both options there if both options do the exact same thing, but one costs more? I'm confused. I'm very confused. I'm very confused.
caused by the fact that tuition fees, university's biggest source of funding, haven't kept up with inflation since 2012, when they were capped at £9,000 before rising to £9,250 in 2017. Universities responded by cutting the amount spent per student, with annual real-term spending having plummeted since 2012. As such, Labour are now increasing tuition fees to £9,535 a year for domestic students.
Now this shit is something to where it makes no sense at all. If tuition fees aren't already getting paid off by people who have university degrees, they're not paying these degrees off, right? Ever, right? Over 20 years. And if there's like some type of underfunding that you're talking about that universities are having, why would you raise it by such a little amount if that was the real issue? Why wouldn't you just raise it to match inflation? Other than just trying to make a quick buck from somewhere. I don't understand it. I don't even understand why it's increasing. Why is it increasing? Less people are going, but more people have to pay? Supply and demand, my friend. So you want more people to go while having them have to spend more? Or are they trying to de-incentivize people from going to university and going more into these TEC colleges? Okay, Starman, make it make sense, please.
Although, given the tuition fees would be around £15,000 today if they'd risen with inflation, this will likely have a negligible impact. Early this year, the government also proposed a 6% levy on international student fees to support means-tested maintenance grants. Although we should say that this amounts to essentially taxing one of the UK's few remaining exports. More broadly though, Labour...
Once again, that doesn't help out the UK economy. Because now if it's even more expensive for international students to come over here, they have less reason to come over here because it's more expensive and the results are just not paying off. Interesting.
I want all higher education providers to, quote, consider how they could specialise in areas of strength and collaborate with others for the benefit of students and the economy, rather than, as is currently the case, pursuing generalist business models and competing with each other for the same students and research areas. Now, this sounds like a good idea.
It does sound like a great idea. Sorry, look how disgusting that pond is. Like, ugh. I think having more universities specialize in a certain field is going to be very important, because then it means they can actually just make the best of the best and don't worry about anything else. All right, I find that great. So that's a win. That's a win. That is an absolute win.
UK universities are more generalist than most, and narrowing their focus could help guarantee students value for money and help the overall economy. If you're interested in learning more about this topic.
Yeah, that's the video, guys. Because for the next 2 minutes, he's just talking about ads. So, it's a very hard topic to understand. As you can see from that video and from what was outlined, Labour didn't exactly say exactly what they're going to do, other than them putting in this TECs thing, which in practice, I don't see how that's going to work, right? V levels? Well, if A levels and T levels didn't work, why do you think V levels are going to work? And then when it comes to the support of getting people in the NEET category into work, they have to wait 1.5 years. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess we'll just got to see when this budget comes out, man. But yeah, you guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think there's some pros to what Labour's trying to put forward? Do you think some of the points that I made in the video, such as the fact that it didn't work before, why do you think it's going to work now? 1.5 years is too long to wait. What makes you think they're going to have jobs in the future but not now? You know, I want to see what you guys believe in the comments down below, because I want a discussion, you know. Till then, love.